Hallelujah. Kembo, Kembo, Natata Nzambi Yamazulu. We want to welcome everyone on YouTube and Facebook. We are here with our queen, our Ngningone, and we like to welcome her at this moment. The platform is yours, my queen.
To my beautiful and amazing royals of Africa, batatas, bananas, bakongos, mbolwani, my dear children, it's a pleasure to be among you. All right. So my dear children, what are we talking about today?
We are discussing the banished ones.
Okay. The banishment. My dear royals of Africa, those of you who have watched me before, you heard me, say times and times that the return of our people is not something that we're pulling out of our hats, all right? It was prophesied, all right? So it's something that is written in the stars. It's bound to happen. So as your sister, your daughter, your mom, your friend, I came from home to come and tell you what this is about, all right? As many of you know, I was led to come and live to America. And as you know, since the fall of our people, it has been about surviving, all right? Your forefathers were fearless. Your foremothers were fearless. They confronted these invaders with their bare hands, because what is the blade against a cannon, a gun? People did that for us. And they knew, because even before we fell, Tata Nzambe prophesied that since you failed to unite into one mighty paramountcy, meaning all the kingdoms becoming one, you refuse. This is what you will fall, but and yet it will not be permanent. And what lost will be restored. Whomever is lost and stolen will be returned. Whatever is destroyed will be rebuilt. Tata Nzambe, he loves us so much that he gave us what our children call here the 411. Mbolo, mbolo, my dear. What our people call the 411 here. So, unfortunately, most royal houses were destroyed, meaning the king slaughtered and the descendant taken into slavery. The reason why they did that, it was sure that these kingdoms never rise. So, as we were fighting them, we knew that some of us had to retreat. We were hiding, my children, in caves. They had bounties. So we had to retrieve and hide, because we knew the time Nzambe told us that our children will return, our land will be protected and will rise from whatever happened to us. Some of us had to retreat to the story. Some of us had to retreat to maintain the integrity of what Nzambe has mandated for us to do. That's why I got enraged when I hear the selling for our children returning. Because just like Nzambe told us that we're gonna fall, we're gonna suffer, but and yet he will heal us. He hopes that when that time comes, we be ready to answer the call and take our rightful place. Nzambe also told us that on our land were just certain crimes we couldn't commit, okay? We had a system called banishment, which had for intent to maintain the land pure. So, if it was a kingdom that didn't have death penalty, you will be banished. So they will chase you away. I mean, the community, they come and call you out of your house. We no longer want you here. Those who were committing, abominable crimes were banished from that land. Who also was considered banished, a tribe enemy that comes and invade us or wage war on us, and we win, we over them. Their prisoners were banished. So the sole purpose of banishment was so that the land Zambia gave us remain pure. So we had to stay away from any crimes, anything that we had to, obey our commandments, instruction he gave us. I share a sheet with my son and brother, Masaka Manzambi. All right. So we were an established people. We have every angle, every aspect of our existence covered before they came. So the banishment was something spiritual. When you are judged dangerous for a community, of that community, we keep you as prisoner and we sell you as servant to a tribe. And it didn't stop there. There would be rituals, there would be like cleansing, purifying rituals that would take place in order for you to be brought back on the land. Now fast, what did it happen? They do that. So basically the ancestors of people being banished cut ties, because this is what happened when we commit against somebody. We open up that if it's someone who knows their spirituality, they could go to with their ancestor, plead their case. And if you are guilty, whatever his ancestor want to do to you, your ancestor gonna have to fall and let it happen. All right. So anybody who was banished, they were not only physically banished, but they were also spiritually banished from our clan. It would be the type of, if years later you bump into them through whatever, they will act towards you as agonist. They will act towards you as an enemy. They will act towards you as if, like our children say, as if they have to. So you have to understand that the banishment was both physical but also spiritual. When the European came, you may hear some people around say, "Oh, the African sold us, the African sold us, the African sold us." In the meantime, the children are awakening. All the children of Africa are receiving visitation from their fallen ancestors. All the children of Africa are being given instruction as to what their next move should be, where should they go. So you could see the disconnecting people. They will cling to the lies of our ancestors, and nothing in them would tell them, okay, maybe we need to question these people. So if the collaboration, there shouldn't be the aftermath. The only kingdom that is still standing that was back then and that which practicing of African people is the kingdom of Morocco. That dynasty is continuing. These were like the lighter, the white-looking Africans. If he doesn't tell you anything, that the world against us, those of us who don't understand it, my dear children, don't battle them, because the awakening of our people is something spiritual. If they no longer have ties spiritually, our home base, let them be my children. They could be descendant of the banished ones. Because among the people, it became a commodity. So even if they found you and you had a bunch of prisoners, they round everybody up, not all of you are Bakongo. So not all of you gonna feel the same way about things. Not all of you have that pull to go look for, because there's nobody on the other side to pull you. It's a challenge. It's a challenge our ancestors have to win. They brought us down. We are God's race on earth. The challenge is to heal. From the other side, they call you guys to sell everything you have, to throw yourself in the unknown and go find your roots, go find your people, settle in the land of your ancestors. Not many of you gonna feel, because not all of you are the same.
Excuse me for interrupting you, my queen. You're going in and out. The connection is going in and out. But what I hear you saying in speaking about the banished ones, yes, you said that if the people, if we are not feeling basically or hearing the call to come home, there's no one calling us.
No one is calling you on the other side. Your lineage may not even be welcome back, because this is what happened in the case of, I don't know, let me try this. Please tell me if you still can hear me.
We can. It's as I said, it's going in and out. But we can hear a good portion of what you're saying.
Zombie, is there any way that you could make her her screen the biggest main screen that we could see? Because she's like in the little blocks like we are, but being that she's the speaker, that we could see a broader. Is there any way that could happen?
That might be on your side, because she's she's being
okay. So may I say something? As the host, yes, each person can do that. You can click the 3 dots by the queen's name and click in. That will make it big for you. But as the host, Elder Manzambi, you can also do it if you click the 3 dots by her name and click spotlight. That will make it big for everybody.
All right, Matondo. I will do that.
Matondo.
And you say it says spotlight?
Spotlight, yes, yes.
Ah, okay.
There you go.
All right.
All right, we in business.
Okay.
All right. Can you hear me better?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, the banishment, as I was explaining, was not only physical, but also spiritual. All right? Because after they banish a person, a ritual was performed to repurify the land, and during which ties were severed between that lineage, that person, lineage, and the land. So since the awakening of our children is a spiritual process, not all of you gonna feel called, okay? Because you have to understand the dynamic. When they came, people had prisoners in their backyard. Do you understand? People had, I don't know, whatever. So what I saw during the initiation and what the elders confirmed with me is like, when a person is banished, there won't be a call toward that place. There won't be a pull. The person will not dream with their ancestors because that spiritual side is cut off. That they send them away, they have nothing to do with us. So the European knew that practice, I think it could mean the things they were trying to, you know, call that our children were banished. No, war happened. The encounter with us ended up in dissolution of our kingdoms, our wealth stolen, our children stolen, our kings murdered their queens, murdered So the aftermath is there because I'm so big in archaeology, because when you go on archaeology side, the evidence you found tells the story, right? So, but nevertheless, not all of us were Bakongos. All of us who found themselves here. So I would like you to exercise patience, okay? I would like you also not to share your dreams, your encounters with your ancestors with many people, my children. Because not everybody gonna have the call, not everybody gonna have the same experience. I hope I'm making sense. Imagine some of our children never dreamt with an ancestor, never dreamt even being in Africa, never had a, an ancestor sending someone in a dream to help them. Sometimes I hear our children calling me, oh, my queen, I dream about this. Like we're having the same dream. When you face danger, someone comes and take care of it in a dream. I know from there that you have an army working with you like I do, because that's what happened in my dream. They pop from nowhere. They come and take care of adversity. Now, imagine you share such dream with someone who goes through in his dream, get beat, shot at, and then you bring your royal protocol, your royal spiritual protocol around them. My children, we need to understand what is up against us. Some of you will see in the diaspora, our king sold us, our king sold us, because they don't understand what is the crown. The people constitute that crown. You swear an oath to protect, to provide, to do whatever they can. They are your bosses. During the training, they tell me, if you find yourself in front of adversity and either your kid or the people, you give them the kid. You guys have heard of that queen, I forgot her name. She was leading her people into safety and they were entering a territory which wasn't there. So the natural border was posing an obstacle. The water wouldn't let them cross. You know, the waters told them, we want a sacrifice and we want that dear to you. You know what she did? She took her baby. She was still breastfeeding and gave to the water. The water calmed down the people past. That's what we are told. The people come first. So, and our children, the descendant of the crown kings, no matter what they tell them about Africa, they have that love for Africa. Why? Because your bloodline is covenanted to be of service to that land and these people. So when you face people who don't get it, who don't feel it, my children, don't push it. Do you know what they used to do back at home when the European took over? They used to take the outcasts of different places to show them who the royals were. They put the outcasts in control, the commoners. When they capture a royal son, even a prince, a crown prince of a throne, basically a parent to the throne, they will first strip him off of his crown. That's the first thing they will go. They go for his crown, slam it on the ground, spit on it, and start managing it. I have that trauma in my blood, though I didn't live it. Being humiliated, being stripped naked of everything. And these activities used to be carried out by the people we had in our backyard as outcasts. You push them out of the community and they go start a little settlement in the outskirts of your kingdoms. When these Europeans came, they became very helpful. That's why I get extremely aggressive when someone dares, because they don't know me, they want to come and disrespect me. I have that trauma. I will battle you, shut the hell up. So you see, now you have to know that that spirit had been there. When you see many Africans are traumatized, we've always knew that Nzambe was the kingmaker. So when the European took over, what did the European told them? The European told them Zambe is no kingmaker. They are the kingmakers. They started taking these people who were nobodies and put them above everybody, gave them chieftaincy title. They became the handlers in the community. And when that happy marriage between villains ended, their offspring ended up also being sold, because you know why? At the end of the day, we were a community, a commodity. It doesn't matter, it didn't matter whether you were of royal or not. So you have to understand that you will encounter that spirit. People who would swear, I say, maybe you have reason not to go back. Because what happened when a banished person returns, that land get cursed, the crops won't grow, disease, failure in this and that, until we go and consult the ancestors until they reveal that you have among you someone who shouldn't be there. You see? So since our return is something spiritual, please handle it as such. Don't try to debate people who swear they have nothing to do with Africa. Let them be. Our people say many dogs spoil the hunting. Instead of the dog being quiet until you kill your prey and just start barking to go pick it up. No, many dogs, what are they gonna do? They're gonna start barking and they're gonna chase away your prey, and you go home empty-handed. It's not the quantity, my children, it's the quality. I have come across some of our children. It's like slavery. They were completely unfazed from slavery. The way they organize their lives, the way they treat their women, the way they treat their children, you will think they're born at home because of the bloodline they came through. These are the royal children. There's a covenant. No matter what you went through, you cannot be destroyed. Now you have to understand that not all of us are made that way. Okay? So our return is spiritual. Tata Nzambe told me, tell the children when they're ready, they should let us know. That's why we had that conversation the other day, that you give the okay and you will see things moving, shaking around. And if you've been watching the news, a lot is going on. So we have to remain confident in what we're doing, in where we're heading. We won't be homeless. We won't be barefoot. We won't be naked for much longer. Those of you who get the call, answer it. You have to trust in something, my children. I know we went through a lot, but you have to trust in something, because I pray every day. I ask the Nkulu to heal you guys so you could recover your innocence. Zambe like us innocent, like children. This is when we're more receptive. And this is when his divine army is fully dispatched. When we like a kid, don't know evil, don't see evil, don't speak evil, don't hear evil. But and yet we surrendered those that see in our appearance that weak. This is where you sit with your bowl of popcorn and watch them go through after they tried you. Because a lot is being bestowed upon you guys. And you could see that in everything concerning us. You can find some story about us in the Bible, but like I told you, it's not everything is in the Bible. They intentionally reverse everything, just like we talk about the reversal of the mirth, the morph of the values, you know, the reversal of anything. We stood for the reversal of our structure, internal order. Back in the days, the people used to fight alongside with their king until they overpowered the enemy or they're all dead. They reversed our structure by putting the commoners, the nobodies, the outcasts over the rulers. So our elders tell us, even when they used to, you know, abort the sheep and stuff, they will give the power to someone you had banished from your land to beat you. The divide and conquer. It has been their mantra, and we have to be aware of it. But another thing I really want us to be aware is, like, not all of us is descendant of our royalties. And some of us who were descendant of our royalty had been banished. They have become sons and daughters of their kidnapper, their captor. I don't even know if it's a word. But check this out. How? Let's go back in history. Many of you, we want to go home. Some of you are itching to go home. My children, be patient. Use this time while the Mundeles, their castle is crumbling. So while they're going through their karma, let's heal and trust in the ancestors. Let's heal. Let's get into the root cause of what the ailment. Let's, how they say it, let's get a formation, regroupment, a gathering of those two children of Israel returning home. Okay? Don't feel urged. Zambe knows what he's doing. What happened to the outcasts and the weak vessel? They got into captivity and became their own, their former masters. What do we know about America? America was sent, you know, by the British Crown. Yeah, finance expedition alongside the Ish people. Yeah, bring the trophies, bring the wealth, bring the slaves, bring everything we need. Europe is starving, we're full of disease, they're full of, you know, famine, and they were afraid that they were gonna get wiped out. So you have to understand that the fall of our people was necessary for their survival. And then what did America do? Let's not forget, who are the people they send here? The overcrowded prisoners, right? Criminals, nobodies, bottom feeders of Europe who didn't have a land, a title to nothing. So that was their dream, to establish somewhere. As criminals, they forget that their children they send to terrorize the world were criminal. When they got here, what do? After a while, they pull weapons against their home mother, England. They changed the plan. They're like, no, we want to be our own person. You know, screw the original agreement that we're going to be paying you taxes. We're now becoming an entity of our own. We no longer need you. All right? You all heard about that war versus United States and England. So they revolt. And what do we see among our outcasts, our banished one? They do the same. The spirit is there, my children. They are forming a community. They are breaking free from Africa together to create, I don't want to say a race, they call black or culture. They say they're not African, they're black. Just like their former master told England, we're no longer British, we are American. Okay? And then what does it cause? Okay, the banished one or the outcast, and who were their masters? Or the banished from Europe, because their kings were not like our kings, giving land, having access to wealth, making sure everybody has a decent life. No, they to keep everything for themselves, and the peasants starved. These people themselves said when they came in Africa, they didn't see a thief. So So what did the criminals from outside, they will fight, they will make about the suffering of our children here. Those children who came and suffered in America, where were they stolen? Why you wanna outcast them from their roots? You see the criminality. No, we're gonna become our own person. We are Black, but and yet you landless. You have to see, like the video I posted from one of our fathers on the continent, Papa Bandakani. It's important that we go to history, and no trick is new under the sun. People would tell you, no, 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 I'm not African, I'm Black. Yeah, I'm Black American. Don't argue with them, my children. Watch them and let them do. But what we know, the prophecy was that Africa will, the stolen children will return again, and they're going to be a son, a daughter to that land. What does a son and a daughter, if you from Alabama, you left dad and mom home and you went to New York and you got a job, and the news came that dad and mom died, what does a son do? Thing is to go home and bury your people, to go home and settle their estate and keep their house in order. Many of you have that push to go and rebuild your fathers and your mothers' devastated land. And you have to stick to it because there's a call attached to you. Your lineage, you guys were pre-selected to be service, and just do it. Trust in Zambia, trust in the process. As we are speaking, it hasn't even taken long since I told you guys that the ancestors want you to tell them from your own mouth, you ready, they're gonna start moving and shaking things. It hasn't been long. As it is, the European Union is on about to crumble. These people are turning weapons against each other. The strongest are becoming the weakest. It's getting really entertaining, in my opinion. Trust in the process, my children. Trust in Zambia. Okay? So you have to look back in history. Where did a group of people, our children are reproducing what their former masters did to their homeland? Now, they told homeland, we're going to show you how to colonize the world. The new colonization is America now colonizing the world. So don't fight with those of our savages that will come across your path and going to try to put you in the defensive. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, my children. Any questions?
Wow, wow. This is truly powerful message, my queen. You know, to hear about the banished ones and what happened, and how, you know, the people, there are some people that have a desire to go home, and they're really trying to, you know, ask, they're praying and speaking to the Most High, let us go home, we're ready to go home. But then there are others who say, you know, Africa is not ours, as you explained, and we're beginning to understand why. We're seeing, you know, that some of them have been banished, and their ancestors are not reaching out to them, you know, because they've been banished. So, you know, it makes sense with what you're saying. And then those of us who, as you said, are royal, but they have no desire to go home, you know, that explains why Tata Nzambi said that he has a remnant.
Yes.
Many are called, but few are chosen.
Yeah.
You know, so it's because they've taken on the ways of the captors.
Yes.
And they embraced them.
And they embrace them. So my children, please don't, I know we've been enslaved and colonized by a system, a narcissistic system, which replaces wisdom by intellect, and which denies the existence of God and want to put the man in control. You're going to realize that we don't control nothing.
It's true.
So don't bother yourself with the question on the how, the how. Set the intention, talk to your Nkulus. If those of you who have access to my Patreon, the morning ritual, every morning, a Bantu man and woman, this is what we do. It's described that you face east. You decree your day. And in there, send your intention to Nzambe and Nkulu. They're going to move things. Don't wonder how you're going to get to this, how you're going to get to that. I was living a good life under, you know, hiding. You know, I'm a shy. I was hiding. I'm like, he got so comfortable to hide as an African royal, you know. But when the call came, I had to give up my whole life. And when I wouldn't move fast enough to come talk to their kids, they beat me up. When your family is covenanted, meaning is chosen, Zambe gave you whatever the priesthood, whether the kingship, whatever, your destiny, your life doesn't belong to you.
Yes.
You are led, and the people, the means, the resources you're gonna need to get to where they want you to be, will present themselves in front of you, you know, minding you on call. You on your path, or at least you're aware of that which it is. Zambe wants us to let him handle it. Okay, so what we need to do is to heal our tendency. They disrupt the order, like you had the banished, the commoners, the nobody, strip naked the royal children and manhandle them. That spirit is in us to the point we don't respect authority anymore. So they did it in purposely, because if you reverse the mentality of people that used to be loyal and stick with their king and fight and die by their side, if you can turn them upside down, you know, in their structures, in their view, in their discipline, you have conquered them. Because you as their master, you become the master, become the only authority they respect and allow around them. So you see, that's why they had the role reversal. That's why they made peasants. That's why they made chiefs out of peasants. Until today, I told Mwatata Manzambi that the first president of Gabon, he was found, and he was a revolutionary. So the French wanted to get that country back altogether, because his mantra was Gabon first. When they were trying to push their post-colonial agreement, he was like Gabon first. When Gabon belly is full, and then we'll see what we toss your way for teaching us French, for teaching us how to use a fork, for teaching us how to wear trousers or whatever you claim that colonial debt is worth. So you see, what happened to him to bring him down? They hired his butler. The president my father worked under, he was the first president butler. And through his wife, he found out what his totem was. And they fed it to him. When they feed you your totem, you're gone. So this is how we lost him, and they put a puppet, because if you make a butler, if you make a president out of a butler, you can rest assured the loyalty of such individual will always be with you, because you put him in a place he could have never dreamed of being before. You see how they work? So you have to understand how they move, how they work. But when you're connected with your nkulus, your elevated nkulus, you don't have to worry about that. You get the alert. When you meet someone, you're gonna see all the red flags. You will know what to do. You will know where to stand. You will know what to say. You will know how to dodge them or curve them.
Anyone have any questions?
My people get very quiet. Is Khadija among you guys?
I think I saw her. I
I'm
see.
here. Hold on, let me get on camera. Just 1 second.
My princess.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm here.
Now I can't see anybody else.
Okay.
Hold on. I think the lighting is really bad here. Very bad. Can you see me okay?
On my screen, it only shows me. I don't see anybody else.
Oh,
What did you do?
Let me see. I'm gonna try something, okay?
Don't stop.
Okay.
let me get. I don't know how to get up.
Don't stop.
Okay.
Why did you do that?
I said I was trying something.
I told you don't do that.
I'm sorry, y'all.
That's okay. Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Mondelez call it.
It's not you.
Yeah.
That's what we see it.
I had I had put her on full screen.
Like spotlight.
Okay, remove spotlight. There we go. Okay, Queen Khadija. And,
All right.
and then
Bolo!
Hello, my royal one.
okay. And come back on Queen.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. All right.
All right, Princess Khadija, I would like to, have a call, because the things that came through when it comes to you was a lot, and my fingers, they get tired chasing. We will have to get on the phone maybe an hour after we done here. Today is pretty open for me. All right. So many of you would feel called. Many of you will get visitation by your ancestors. Many of you will get directions. Many of you are even given the name of the place you need to relocate to. Don't think that all of us are no, my children, not all of us. But what we know is the descendant of the slain kings will come back. You guys are the future rulers of Africa. Why you think some people are uneasy? Some people are uneasy because the void created by the loss of our fathers when they lost the war, it created a void that benefited and continue to benefit many. But in everything that has to do with Zambe, what he said will be done. Because let me tell you something, my children. When I go home, people who talk rubbish on the phone, it's like magic, eh? They know she's here. Shh, quiet. They come and bring you food. I'm like, huh, so you know who I am, idiot. Nothing can be held back because it's prophesied. It's just like we need to go home as children.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
You are sons and daughters of that land. And you let everybody know, I'm not American.
There we go.
I'm one of those they took away by force. I found my way home. Where do I sleep? Where do I eat?
Yeah.
You put them in the obligation to take you in as a child. When you talk the matters of the house of your father or the house of your mother, you move differently. Okay? You move differently. I was very happy. I think it was a video, I think Mundele list. Yes. I saw our sons talking African to the people on the continent, telling them, I want to come home. I want to come to my father's house.
Yes.
I was like, tell them, oh, because that's the language they understand.
Yes.
This will reassure them that their children are not lost. Because it's also there when America, they're the ones that do that the most. When they want to go to war against Africa, they put a black face. They put a black face, right? So what do Africans, they're like, oh my gosh, these people don't even know that we are the people. Why they do that to us? You see? So the confusion is made intentionally. But from that mass, I want you guys, our royal ones, to rise and talk African. It leaves no choice. Don't worry, Papa, don't, Mama, don't for the fools you see running around loose. I know who I am to you, your lost child. I am now home. Where do we eat? Where do we go do this? If you encounter a problem on the continent, you find an elder, a local elder. You submit your problem there, elder, come and speak on my behalf with these people. They took my money, they won't give me, they did this. Elder, you know my father, he's no longer in this land, but I want you to go and speak on behalf of my father. That African get up and go for you. That's the land. Not when we go, we have an incident or whatever, we run to embassy. They're like, I told you. And the Mundele is waiting for an opportunity to be the Samaritan. So until we reclaim ourselves, we are the ones to reclaim them. If you see what I mean, we want to reclaim them as our parents. The guards can drop, then they can drop their guards. Let them know, I'm son and daughter of this land. I did the DNA test, is confirmed I'm from here, I'm home. Now where do I eat? Put that on them. They will know that this is our child. Hey. I'm happy when I saw our son talking African to them. I'm like, this goes into their soul. Do you think our fathers on the continent are having battle with these people? Wish they never had to. We are so broken. The order is put upside down. A lot of leaders fear. Can I go to war with these people when around me I'm surrounded by people who can't wait to take my place. They have a way to, to bring people, around. Someone like Magufuli. Papa Magufuli. When he picked her and put her as his number 2, he thought he was safe. And not to know that he wouldn't even have been buried. That woman would have undone everything he fought for. Have to understand what we up against. But home is home. Nothing gonna shut you the door from going home. When we start sounding like their children, they will go to war for us. When we let them know that, hey, forget slavery. I know exactly who you are to me. You are my forefathers' brothers. You are my forefathers' sisters. And when I come home, you need to take care of me. Where do I eat? Where do I sleep? He will move the soul of every dad or mom. Okay, children, any questions?
Randall, you have your hand up?
Yeah, we have 2 hands that are up.
Yes, yes. Bayete, Bayete, my queen.
Bayete.
I wanted to ask, so what does it mean when, if you have a brother or sister say, I'm ready to go. I'm ready, me personally, I'm ready to go back to their land. But what happens, or what does it mean if you have a brother or sister in the house that thinks you're crazy? They're like, no, I'm not going, I don't want to go back there. What does that mean? Is that they're not, are they the one of the banished ones, or?
No, there's one king in every family.
Okay.
You lead the rest. You see, you lead the rest. There's one staff per household.
Okay.
So you don't want understanding. Right now, they don't take you serious. But they don't know is that the lineage is saved through you because you're gonna trailblaze the return home. What do you think gonna happen when bombs start flying over their roof? They're gonna look for you. You know that. Since you went ahead of time, they will have a house to come into. Don't worry about them. Carry on as the leader, that lineage.
Matondo.
Luzolo, your hand is up.
Bayete, queen.
Bayete, my dear son.
Yes, he asked the same, that was the same question that I was going to ask. But you spoke of a bloodline being called. And if you have that calling but you can't, is someone particular that's selected within that bloodline that's called to come? That's why you can't convince your brothers, family members to come, but you already have that calling and feeling to come. That's the reason only one is selected within the bloodline to come. Is that correct?
Yeah, but that bloodline as well to them. You understand?
So then we don't press them, don't push them. The time will come when they'll come understand later.
Yes, don't push them. You carry on, you trailblaze. Because by the time we settle it back home and the Babylon is destroyed, they trust me, my son, they will look for you.
I understand.
You see, don't, right now you may sound crazy to them.
I do.
I know. I do too. So you just have to carry with the mission. Some are born to labor, others are born to enjoy.
I understand.
Some
Matondo.
are born to labor. Others are born to enjoy. But the laborer, the one who goes and found the land and clear it and put his hands down. We have a foothold on such and such land. Mama, you can come. Sister, you can come. That's the king. That's the Nti. You see? So don't let it bother you. No. When it comes, they will be glad that you went ahead of them. They would be glad that you see.
I understand. Matondo.
All right. More questions?
Yes, my sister Namusa here has a question. If you guys can hear us, we're here in Botswana. We've come home.
How you doing, Queen? I have a question. I stayed almost a year in Tanzania, and I left and went to South Africa. Now I'm here in Botswana.
We have been trying, but the
We've been trying to show our face, but the camera will not let us show it for nothing.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, my dear.
We are trying to.
Yeah, it's still not even turning on.
It will not come on.
That's okay, Mama. Okay.
Okay, I said I stayed in Tanzania for a year, and I went to South Africa, and I stayed there for about 4 months, and now I'm in Botswana. The trouble that we are having is they will not let us come in and stay. It's hard to get into the country, to just plant our feet somewhere, and it's so depressing. So many people have left and went back home because of it. Because every 90 days, or they have to get out, go here, go there. And it's hurting to know that this is happening to us. That's all I wanted to say.
Because all this is happening is because the time is not right. The time hasn't come, because the gathering needs to happen first, followed by the healing. Tatanzambe is a God of order. All right? He has to gather us first, his children. So even when we know who's going to take care of this, who's going to do this, who's going to do that, who's going to do that, which land has opened up for us to settle in, you know? That's why all this is happening. They're treating you like complete foreigners, having you, pay a visa every 3 months. That's the ripoff they do to foreigners over there. But the strange thing is, it's deeper than that, because even foreigners, when they start a business in most countries in Africa, they give them a permanent residency.
Well, that's what's happening now to us. So we had to go that route. So we've learned.
Yes.
Yeah, my children, I would suggest that you don't hurry the pace, because Tatanzambe said there's going to be a purge. What does it mean? A purge of hurdles. So we have to be patient and heal, because the more we heal, the more we elevate in our consciousness, in the oneness consciousness. Why do you think they fear our unity? Because we're going to vibrate at a vibration level that won't even allow them to sustain life, especially the people who are very low vibrational. They're going to fall like flies. Life on earth won't be sustainable for them. So you have to see in there that everything is by time. We have to gather first. We have to heal. When we cultivate that oneness, remember what led to our fall, because we were incapable of standing as one. Now, if the children come home as one, the people on the continent have no choice. These are the future leaders of the land anyway. The kingdoms that were destroyed, you will find a descendant in some head of state, in some, they take their people always to the highest office in the land.
That's
You
what's
know,
been happening.
before we come back and turn all this country back into kingdoms and chill.
Yes, that's what's been happening.
So to piggyback on that question, so for those of us who were called to come ahead of time that are here, it has been a struggle, but it's like we've been fighting not just for ourselves, but for others to come. And it has taken us to some high places, that higher than what we expected even this week. So for some of us, I think, as you were saying earlier, we were the only ones in our families that were called to come, like Ezra and Nehemiah almost.
The thing is, like, we need to know what we're doing. We need to form an organization. I'm going to give you guys more details through your brother and King Manzambi. Is going to be basically an organization where the Bantu people, those who consider themselves Bantu, okay, it's going to be like a resource center. So we share information in healing, we share information on land, we share information on wealth opportunity, we share information on those skill sets. We're going to know how many economists we have among us, how many doctors, how many anything, how many any of that. So, and then let's say we have let's say our return land going to be Gabon. When Gabon is like, hey, we stand as one with the returned children of the fallen kings. Hello, we came home. What can we help you with? Among us, there's this amount of nurses, there's this and that. Where are the jobs? You see, that's how we move. We don't move in bits by bits without a plan. It's fiasco. Vultures will exploit the weak ones. In Tanzania, you're dealing with an authority that I don't understand her. Oh, no, I do understand dollars, but
yes,
you're being locked out of your ancestors' land. It doesn't make sense, especially when the king before her was calling you guys home.
yes.
So you have to know by then at the time it's not right. Because when Zambe and the ancestors are on your journey, we foreigners who have done know something about it. It's a smooth sell.
So Queen, from what you're saying then, because we do know that there's a lot of people that have went over there, and even some that have said that they are the trailblazer, but yet they're encountering, we know they're not telling people this stuff on YouTube. They're making it look glamorous, like come home, but we know behind the scene, because we know people over there and what they're encountering. We talk to these people, but they'll never show this on YouTube. So you're saying that because our people are encountering this, not only in Tanzania, but Zambia and other places where they're having issues with staying. They have to leave out and come back in, and you know, there's exploitation even when they do that. So you're saying all these things are happening because it's not the time yet to return home for us. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it's not the time. There's a precursor to the return. The gathering and then the healing.
So we're at the healing phase now, you would say?
Yes, we full mode in the healing. We're in full mode in the healing. That's why we get to have you guys recall your footprints, your handprints, your blood they collected, your DNA they collected, because that's the time to heal, to go back.
So it's kind of like what the Bible talks about, our wilderness experience for those that were in church, so that they can have a understanding. We're in that wilderness experience right now.
Yes, this is our wilderness experience. We're preparing to enter the promised land.
Yes, hallelujah.
Come on, hold on.
Yeah.
People. Hold on. Hold on.
Hold on,
Hallelujah.
children.
So,
Yeah, hold on. Don't when we travel, we look at the sign. I remember my father as an ambassador when we were traveling, he sought the answers. The sign that confirmed load up his entire family in an airplane. We just won't go. Because when the time is, every flow is a smooth sail. It would never be the type of situation where you show up somewhere, let's say we're offering a residency, and when you say, oh no, they do it and stuff, no. Everything will fall, just it's like rolling a carpet in front of you.
Makes sense, makes sense, makes perfect sense.
Yes.
So,
So
But-
we
oh,
should be patient,
sorry.
my children. Please be patient.
Is the hand raised? I can't see.
Makisi, were you all satisfied, or you had another question, my sister?
Yes, I had a question for the queen.
Wait a minute, I mean, Nomusa, is that Nomusa that was talking?
Oh, yeah.
Were
Yes,
you
sorry.
all done, satisfied, or did you have any more questions before we moved on to Sister?
yes, I understood her. She said that it's not time yet because I'm telling you, Tanzania, it was great for me. It was the land of the wilderness, so they say, peace. But I enjoyed Tanzania. But I enjoyed South Africa. It's when I got to Botswana. That's when it got hard, very hard for me.
So I think also too, this is a three of us sitting here. Some that came to Tanzania or to the lands were coming for different reasons. So I think, as the Queen said earlier, some are called, some were, just coming for different reasons. So Tanzania was a wilderness experience for some. But honestly, just for me, this is the first time that I've sought residency, right? And like the Queen said, if you are not careful, people will eat you up and things like that. But when you do it the right way, what we had to do is step aside and we prayed and sought the Most High. What should we do? And then things just went into place. We were able to get things done in a week or two, when we cut off everybody and just did it ourselves with the guidance of the Most High. So I think, like you said, there are some that do go ahead because they have the call, and they're like the leaders. Like you said, there's one in every family to go and prepare the way. And you have to be very clear about what that way is and that path that you're taking. Without the guidance of, we call them Modimo here, you're just kind of floating around without not knowing what to do or what direction. Like in South Africa, we were just chilling there. We didn't know what to do. But when we were invited here, it was a different path. So is there anything? Go ahead.
Yes, and I had one friend, she went back home to America, and she asked me that maybe I should go back home, but I tried to, but the doors didn't open for me to go back home. So I told her this must what the Most High want me to be, right here. So I'm here. And it's going smooth now. Praise the Most High.
So basically, those who did it individually, they're going to encounter obstacles. It's like, it's going to be, I know how Africa works. You have to pay bribes for people to do the job they are paid to do. So, and when they know they're dealing with children coming from America, what do they see? The dollar sign.
Right. Absolutely.
So, to avoid that, because it's almost like currently our children going, they have difficulties and stuff, they're not received as children. They receive as potential investors or as, I don't know what else they see, but the return as noted by Tata Zambe will happen later.
There's a lot of exploitation that's going on, even in Tanzania. We know a lot of people in Tanzania, and I know someone now that's dealing with that is in the court system because of that. And we heard of people that were jailed, Americans, and somebody's wife died over there. So that's what I'm saying. People don't hear these things because they're not going to give these stories because they want it all glam and glorious. But you know, we need to keep it real and be real with our people and let them know the things that we are encountering. Like Queen said, we're encountering these obstacles that many people are talking about, you know, behind the scenes off of YouTube, because right now it's just not the time per se as a whole for us to return as a people. There's a lot of exploitation, trust me, that's going on right now with our people, and they know that. And Queen, I want you to touch on the law of the land so people can understand, and we're going to get Assistant Bakisi after this, the law of the land, so our people can understand this, because people are going in, they're buying land at this forth and so forth. So, and they don't know, they don't understand that there's laws of the land that our people have.
Yeah, there's laws of the land. For example, when you belong to a place, you know, the king used to give you a piece of land that this gonna be for you, and from there you can build on it, you can grow crop and stuff and expand it, raise more money to acquire land. But when it comes to the children of the diaspora, I don't know why they're selling them land. Whomever their ancestor was owned land, all of them except for the banished ones, they own land. So war happened, we lost the war, the kings were murdered, the children taken into captivity. When these children come back, they should not back that which is theirs. What does it do spiritually? You lose the spiritual ownership when a crooked, a wicked person makes you buy that which is yours. If you wonder why our former masters, they will always turn around and sell us that which is rightfully ours. That's where they got it. Spiritually, you lose ownership over it.
And so our people,
that's the problem.
Yes, you all need to know this, because we have been gone off the land. We don't know the laws of the land, the spiritual laws of the land, and we see these things going on. So we need to understand the spiritual aspect of our land and what it entails, because we don't want to lose our inheritance. We don't want to lose what's ours. So we need to be mindful of that.
You don't want to lose, because first of all, you buy land, is you confirming that you stranger, you foreigner in that land. You lose your spiritual authority, you know, so it puts you at a disadvantage. When you were ripped from the continent, your forefathers owned land. Okay, so the return of our children, they are to be given land. My parents, they made preparation for it. They were in court for what, 10 years with the Gabonese government to recover what was left of our kingdom. They did. And what was the instruction? This is the land for the children coming back, because the power that was stolen, the power that was taken away, must be brought back home and taken. Do you understand? Whatever power, whatever strength, whatever the king you came from had, can only take root at home again when the descendants come and take root, and they are not to be sold when it comes to land.
So it's important to, you know, I'm sorry, go ahead, my queen.
Yeah, you have to understand that the spiritual invasion with selling land. Who do we sell land to? We sell land to foreigners, or whatever. Every family have a main land they were planted on. From there, they can expand, they can buy land, but they have their food, their roots, their power is rooted somewhere. All right? And they didn't pay for it. Their king fought or got the land, however he got it, and he gave it to them. So you see, don't let them do that. Don't.
Matondo for that. Family, it's important that we understand, us in the diaspora anyway, that have lost majority of our culture and don't know the laws of the land. We need to know our rights, as children, as she said, we need to know our rights so that we won't be losing our inheritance, because we have an inheritance there. You don't buy your inheritance. My grandmother, she inherited land. She did not have to pay for that land because it belonged to her. And that's what Queen is saying. That land belongs to us. We are war captives. When we look at it, she said we went to war, and we did go to war. They lost, and they took our forefathers into captivity over here. And so that does not mean that we're strangers. No, we're strangers here in America. But Africa is our home. Africa is in our blood.
That's right.
Africa is
Right.
who we are. So we should not have to be coming home and these people are selling us land when we have divine right to the land.
That's right.
So it's important that you know your divine rights as a child of Africa. If you don't, then these people can steal from you constantly and take from you. And that is why people are coming home.
Right.
That's what's happening. Let's keep it real. That's what's happening. We don't know
That's
as
true.
children of the land, and they're taking advantage of our ignorance.
Yes.
Don't pay for what's yours.
Yes.
That's
That's why
true.
it was necessary. That's why it was necessary for the diaspora to have a crown.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Who's gonna advocate of these things for you?
Right.
That's what they told me. You have no choice but get out there. I was like, no, I'm scared. So yeah, you have to, and it will happen. These countries, they're gonna open calls.
Yes.
When the time comes. Because power was stolen and taken away, they know exactly what I mean. I say that. The power that was stolen and taken away must take roots.
Yes.
Yes.
They know.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't involve any monetary transaction.
Right.
It doesn't. Their fathers owned it all. And then when teased, hello, it's not that we have to hustle and struggle and grind.
Yes, yes. All right, Matondo for that, Queen.
Yes,
McKeith, I'm sorry, you've been had your hand up for a while, so
she's
please.
been patiently waiting. Matondo.
Yeah. So there's a spiritual ramification to everything. There's a spiritual meaning to everything. Just like the banished one shouldn't consider returning, and don't force them to return.
Mm-hmm.
Don't force them to return. They feel the way they feel. There are people like generation through generation. Nobody has awakened in their family. There's no covenant there. You understand?
Yes.
Now, for the covenant people, they know what it means. Land must be given, not sold.
Mm-hmm.
Because these ancestors, the children are not going to restore anything to Africa. And so their kids are rooted on the continent.
Yes.
If they're a true royal house, they know that.
Hallelujah. Okay.
Okay,
All
McKeith.
Right. Go ahead.
CME, Queen Ngov, it's such an honor to be in your presence today and to be able to ask a question. Matondo. My question is, I too desire very much to go home to our land, to visit our land. Should we consider adding on becoming a resident? Should we apply for dual residence? And my second question is, I myself and many others have had visions of being on ships, leaving, leaving, the land of our captivity. So those of us that have that vision or have had that dream, should we still, consider like change of residence or just, uprooting and going back to our land? What's your take on that?
Well, your ancestors were sharp in showing you your mode of return, because it is going to happen in ship. I saw during my initiation, it's going to happen in ship, and I know who's going to do it. It's not things we discussed, but they're showing you, because when we go as a group, and that's what I was saying, that it's important that the gathering take place and the healing, because when we go as a group, do you think they're going to be in the kind of thing where they give a green card? No, that's the big return. It means that all the conditions have been met. The right authority is in place and they're welcoming. We're going to have like president, like our late father, rest in peace, Magufuli. We're going to have like bunch of them on the continent. They're going to say, no, bring them here, bring them here, bring them here, bring them here. We take them here, we have land for them, and so on. You see? That's why I told you that in the beginning, that we have to trust in Zambia. We have to trust in the process. And your dream was prophetic. So basically, they're letting you know that the exit activity take place. They're giving you heads up. And what, if I were you, I would do currently and start, gathering people, tying loose ends, getting rid of the excesses, prepare ourselves mentally and spiritually, watch African news, kind of ask them, where are you going to take me? Or just be like, I know we're going to go home and we will be restored. I trust you. Because if you watch what is happening in the news, man, it's full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. It's happening. Stand fast.
Matondo, Masaka.
Matondo, my dear. Thank you.
Is this Google? Is that how you pronounce it? Am I pronouncing it correctly? Google, you had your hand up, or have your hand up?
Yes, you are CME Royal Family.
CME.
I just want to say I'm very grateful to Nkosi Kande Zumbu. I hope I'm pronouncing it right.
I placed mine in the chat.
And I'm a part of his messenger page. And it was about,
she talking about you?
It had his colonial American name is Randall Don. And he, in my heart, has become my first elder to understanding the Bantu heritage. And he posted a still picture of the Victoria Falls and the face of me, Cindy DC in it, the name for JC. And my second elder, Robert Headley, that was born and raised in Ghana, he lives in England. He did a 4-part series on it, showing that certain parts of Botswana, Namibia, Zambia, and another part was part of the battle, what's that battle of Armageddon. And it is also, he went on 3 days after that to show where the real Holy Land, or where we came out of the Kalahari Desert. And when this European colonial explorer in 1921 was despised by the whole United Nations, when he had proven that the real royal family was Black and they came from this part of Africa. They dubbed him crazy and they almost killed him. So recently, in less than 5 years, another explorer from England went over and showed it again. And during about a 2-week series, Elder Robert Hadley proved with scripture that the Kalahari Desert was our real promised land. And he showed it on the Google map. And he also went on to tell us in a group that he's in under King Bhutan II. They are working on land ownership that has been approved by, I think, the country of Botswana and Zambia. That just what you all are talking about. The very first time I joined that particular Zoom meeting, it comes on Sunday afternoons, 12 noon for the United States era. And I was quite pleased, but he was so blessed when Nkosi Randall sent us that vision of Niagara Falls with the face of our Messiah in it. He took it and showed us biblically, scripture by scripture, that was a divine prophetic message that the Most High was calling us home, not to be weary in well-doing, to call our American family names in the spirit and call them home. Some of us would be the trailblazers and they would follow after that. So everything that's being said has been confirmed. I've been watching since August and September. And I hope that is a added confirmation blessing to everyone.
All right, thank you, Gugu. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have a question for the Queen, or just a general question? All right.
Well, we are gonna end the broadcast. Queen, I know that you increase the people. So you can give your increases, your blessings, and I will end the Zoom, the broadcast, and then you know how we hang on for a little while afterwards. So I give it back to you.
So to my beautiful and amazing royal of Africa, be divided. As I said, there's bloodshed over your head. So what does it mean is the covenant of your forefathers is in full effect. So the guidance, the direction comes from Zambia. The time that Zambia has set for us to be restored is now. So to my beautiful and amazing royals of Africa, reclaim and everything that is yours. Every knowledge, every power, let unculus, elevated unculus, to locate each one of you. Let them restore you, your dreams, your waking days. While you speak, let them guide your tongue. Let them infuse you with their divine gift, wisdom. Let them infuse divine clarity. Your eyes must see now. Your ears must be unlocked. Let them always be with you. Let them on your north, on your south, on your east and west, each time you step outside your house. And let them always bring you safe to your loved ones. Peace in your home, love in your heart, and unity. For which we can minds. And God knows we have many to kids. All right, my lovely children, until next time.
No, Matondo.
Matondo, Masaka.
So I'm gonna end the podcast and we'll hang on. Y'all know how we do. All right. You all be increased Facebook and YouTube.